Welcome back to the deep dive. We sift through stacks of sources, research, articles, history, so you don't have to. We give you the shortcut to really knowing what's going on. Today, we're diving headfirst into chaos, really. The phenomenon that is Black Friday. You probably think of it as, huge crowds, maybe fighting over a cheap TV. But the actual history of the name, the global ripple effects, and how tech has just completely reshaped it. It's kind of shocking.
It really is. Our mission today is to unpack that whole evolution for you. We're tracing Black Friday from these really murky, quite frankly, calamitous origins back in the 19th century, all the way to its current state. Digital dominance, global variations. It's a fascinating look at how one day turned into a whole season, completely changing consumer culture.
Okay, let's get into it. The history first.
Sure.
Because that name, Black Friday, the very first time it was used in the U.S., had absolutely nothing to do with shopping. Zero.
Exactly. This is probably the biggest surprise in the sources. The original Black Friday, the really devastating one, happened way before holiday sales were even a thing. We're talking 1869.
The financial panic of 1869. Right. Our sources point to this crisis sparked by two financiers, Jay Gould and James Fisk. They tried to do something pretty audacious.
Audacious is putting it mildly. They tried to corner the entire U.S. gold market.
The whole market. Wow.
Yep. Drove the price sky high. Until President Grant eventually figured out what was happening, that the market was being manipulated. He ordered the Treasury to dump a whole load of government gold onto the market.
And that caused the crash.
Instantly. The consequence was immediate, devastating. Gold prices just tanked, dropped 18% in a single day.
Wiped out fortunes just like that. And get this, one of the people ruined was Grant's own brother-in-law, Abel Corbin.
Talk about awkward Thanksgiving dinners. So yeah, the first Black Friday, massive financial ruin. Nothing about 50% off toasters.
A seriously dark day. So how do we get from that, a gold panic, to discount electronics a century later?
Well, the term sort of vanished and then reappeared mid-century.
Yeah.
But this time it was linked to workplaces and police forces.
Yeah, the sources mention a journal, Factory Management and Maintenance, back in 51, 52. They used Black Friday for workers calling in sick the day after Thanksgiving, trying to score a 4-day weekend.
Classic.
Yeah.
A headache for management, I'm sure. But the origin that really seems to have cemented the name came later, from police departments. Philly, Rochester, places like that.
They used Black Friday and even Black Saturday, right?
Yeah, to describe the absolute nightmare of traffic jams, the huge crowds all kicking off the Christmas shopping season, just pure gridlock and chaos.
So the police were basically naming the day after their own misery. You can see why city officials weren't thrilled.
Not at all. In Philly, back in '61, they actually tried to rebrand it, called it Big Friday and Big Saturday.
Big Friday, how'd that go?
Failed completely. Black just stuck. It felt more accurate, I guess, for people stuck in that mess.
It wasn't until the 80s, when the term went national, that retailers managed to spin it, right?
Exactly. That's when they cooked up this alternative story, the one we all know now.
The accounting angle, that businesses operate in the red at a loss most of the year.
And Black Friday is the day their profits finally push them into the black. Hence, Black Friday.
A much nicer story.
A brilliant bit of PR, really. The first published mention of that explanation seems to be in the Philadelphia Inquirer around 1981. It just completely papered over the messy origins.
Masterful rebranding. Okay, so if crowd chaos defined the early days, the next big shift was stretching it out, making it longer. Which brings us to part two, the time creep and the digital shift.
And trying to lengthen the shopping season isn't new. FDR, way back in 1939, actually moved Thanksgiving earlier one year.
Really? Why?
Specifically to give retailers a longer Christmas shopping season. But the modern version, that was Black Thursday.
Ugh. Black Thursday. Stores opening earlier and earlier on Thanksgiving itself.
Kmart was doing it back in '91, but by the 2010s, it was everywhere. 8 p.m. Thanksgiving evening, 7 p.m. doors opening.
People started calling it Gray Thursday or Brown Thursday, didn't they? Kind of mocking it.
I did. And interestingly, the sources show that pushing into Thanksgiving didn't always pay off. In 2014, those Black Thursday sales were considered a bust. Overall weekend sales actually fell 11%.
And shoppers started pushing back too, right? Feeling it was getting too commercial, encroaching on the holiday.
Yeah, there's definitely pushback. Concerns about workers having to miss family time, the sort of over-commercialization of it all.
And then came the game changer.
COVID-19, absolutely. It just massively accelerated trends that were already happening, especially the move online.
Physical store traffic just plummeted, down like 50% in 2020.
Somewhere around 48 to 52%, yeah. A huge drop. Meanwhile, online sales on Thanksgiving Day alone in 2020 hit over $5 billion, a record.
And that shift feels permanent now. Target decided in 2021 they'd just close on Thanksgiving for good.
Right. So Black Friday isn't really about that single day of door busting anymore. It's morphed into this longer season, sometimes starting way back at October, Christmas creep.
And you can't talk digital without mentioning its twin.
Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Exactly. That term was actually invented in 2005 by shop.org.
Just made up.
Pretty much,
Huh.
to give online retailers their own big day. And now it's expanded into Cyber Week, of course.
The scale is just wild. $9 billion online on Cyber Monday 2020.
And think about how we shop now. Smartphones are key. In 2022, almost half, 48% of online sales happened on phones.
It's literally in your pocket.
And the whole idea of a big manufactured sale day got another boost with Amazon's Prime Day, right? Starting in 2015. Like a Black Friday in July.
Proving the model works anytime. Which leads us neatly into part 3. Global Black Friday. If it's such a U.S. thing, how did it spread? And why did the name often change?
Well, U.S. retailers definitely exported the concept. But the name Black Friday didn't always translate well, culturally or religiously.
How so?
In some places, particularly in the Middle East, Egypt, UAE, Libya, the word black just didn't sit right for a shopping festival. So they adopted White Friday.
A simple inversion. Makes sense.
And you see other positive spins. Pakistan uses Blessed Friday. Turkey went for enthusiasm. Efsain Kuma,
Which means?
Legendary Friday.
Okay. And some places tied it into their own events.
Exactly. Mexico created El Buen Fin, the Good Weekend, back in 2011. It's linked to their Revolution Day holiday, comes with special credit terms, longer hours. It's its own thing, really.
France had that interesting situation in 2020, didn't they?
Yeah, retailers tried names like Jur XXL, but the government actually stepped in during the pandemic. They delayed Black Friday promotions by a week.
Why?
To give physical stores, which had been closed due to lockdown, a fair shot once they reopened in early December. A level playing field.
And the UK had a complicated relationship with the name already.
They did. For Brits, Black Friday traditionally meant the Friday before Christmas. A nightmare day for emergency services because of, excessive festive drinking and related incidents.
So when the US-style sales landed,
It was chaos on top of chaos. 2014 was particularly bad. Police were called to stores like Tesco for crowd control issues, assaults, people acting, as one police chief put it, appallingly.
still the mayhem.
And then there's Australia, where Black Friday has a very somber historical meaning.
The bushfires?
The devastating 1939 bushfires are known as Black Friday there. So importing the shopping day came with some significant baggage.
Wow. That brings us back to the pressure, the crowds, the darker side. Part 4. The dark side of the discount. The violence.
Yeah, this part of the research is pretty chilling. It highlights the extreme pressure these events create. The worst example probably is 2008, Valley Stream, New York, a Walmart.
What happened there?
About 2,000 shoppers waiting for the 5 a.m. opening. When the doors opened,
Hmm.
it was a stampede.
Oh, no.
An employee, Dedemitai Dalmore, was trampled to death. And the report said shoppers were actually complaining about the delay, pushing past police who were trying to help them. They'd waited all night.
That's unbelievable. Horrifying.
And that same day in 2008, 2 people were shot and killed at a Toys R Us in California during an argument. It set a grim pattern.
I remember hearing about the pepper spray incident.
2011, California. A woman pepper sprayed other shoppers waiting for Xboxes, said she did it in order to get an advantage.
Just, wow. And it wasn't always about the products themselves.
No. 2012, Florida, 2 people shot over a parking spot outside a Walmart. 2013, Las Vegas, a guy carrying his new big screen TV gets shot in a robbery attempt. 2015 saw brawls over sneakers. And even recently, 2023, stabbings at malls in Calgary. The environment itself breeds volatility.
Which makes the shift online seem safer, at least. But that has its own challenges. Part 5. The technical and legal battles.
Definitely. Even online, the sheer volume of traffic is a huge technical hurdle. Back in 2017, several major retailers' websites just crashed under the load.
That's got to be expensive.
Hugely. There was a report from South Africa around that time estimating unplanned downtime could cost companies, the equivalent of maybe $15 million USD a year back then. It's a massive potential loss.
But the really interesting fight seems to be over information. Leaked deals.
Ah, yes. The ad leaks. Tip sites posting the deals, sometimes the full ad scans weeks in advance. It completely undermines the whole limited time offer, urgency.
So how do retailers fight back against that?
Get this. They've used copyright law, specifically the DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act.
Copyright for an ad. How?
They argue that the leaked prices, the ad circulars themselves, are copyrighted trade secrets, that releasing them early harms their competitive advantage.
So they're saying the price of a TV is a trade secret.
Effectively, yes. Retailers like Walmart, Target, OfficeMax have all tried this, claiming the timing, the design, the price points are all part of their intellectual property.
That's a stretch, surely. But it works.
It highlights the lengths they'll go to control the narrative and maintain that sense of urgency, even in the digital age, treating a sale price like a state secret.
To keep that panic buying alive, even if it's just clicking a link instead of rushing a door.
Precisely. It's all about manufacturing scarcity and urgency when information wants to be free.
What an incredible story arc. We went from an 1869 gold panic through police in Philly complaining about traffic, actual violence in store aisles, and now we've landed in this global digital-first shopping season that starts in October, this whole Christmas creep.
Yeah, the takeaway is pretty clear. Black Friday isn't just one day anymore. It's this extended event, constantly balancing that old urge for in-person doorbusters against the sheer convenience and scale of online shopping that stretches out for weeks.
So thinking about the future, and for you listening, what does it all mean? Our sources suggest Black Friday sales don't always predict overall holiday success. Sometimes the boost is negligible or even negative compared to overall trends. So what purpose does this one, intense day or now season, really serve for retailers anymore? Is it just pure marketing hype?
That's the real question to chew on, isn't it? The bottom line isn't solely dependent on that Friday anymore. How much of its power is just cultural inertia, tradition? Maybe it's about the days it spawned, like Small Business Saturday or Giving Tuesday. Or maybe it's just the enduring power of that name itself, Black Friday. Simple, dramatic, and still, somehow, magnetic. Something to think about.